Alright, gonna give a few more people a chance to come in. How y'all doing this morning? Yeah, this your boy Rob Thomas Jr. and this is the real news behind the news. Good Saturday morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Day is March 28th, 2020. A cloudy Saturday here in Shreveport, Louisiana. What, day 6, day 5? Yeah, day 5 of the statewide lockdown. Um, Hey y'all, leave y'all comments. As we go through this video, we're not gonna hold y'all that long. We just wanna ask y'all a question. Do y'all understand who just got screwed in this stimulus package? Now keep in mind, they're saying the people in America. At first they said all Americans was gonna be getting some kind of stimulus check. And everybody was kind of happy. Especially people who are losing jobs due to this coronavirus. But when you look at the details and the wording in the legislation that Trump just signed, they drafted the bill and Trump just signed it. The American people are getting screwed. The average American person is getting screwed. You know how they say you throw a dog a bone and he'll be happy? That's just what they did. Now, under this package, the American people, pretty much 1/3 of American people are going to get something back, in the form of a rebate check, in the form of a check. But do you know they're not giving you this? They're going to basically hit you on the back end when you file your taxes next year. All right, let me break this down to you. The bill, when it comes back, is worth close to $10 trillion. 10 trillion. Of that 10 trillion, only 400 billion is going to be designated to give each person who filed taxes in either 2018 or 2019. Those are the only persons who are going to get money back. I stand corrected. Those who are on Social Security, SSI, and social programs like that, they will get money back. But 2/3 of the Americans, those who don't have jobs, who haven't filed taxes, they're not getting nothing back. But on the other hand, do you all realize the rest of that money, pretty much outside of what they're going to give, like I think they got another 500 billion for small business loans. And as a small businessman, if you get one of those loans, you are required to use that money to keep your employees paid. Whatever time lockdown or shutdown or slow down with your business, you're required to keep your employees paid. They eventually dissolve that loan. Basically, dissolve you of that loan if during the duration of this crisis you keep your employees employed or paid. But guess what? The rest of that money is going to the major corporations. Do you realize under this bill, the Federal Reserve and the United States Treasury has become one entity? Let me show you the game. Now, they just gave the Federal Reserve 400 billion with the understanding that the feds now can create up to 10 times that 400 billion, meaning the feds now get 400 billion and they can now print up to $4 trillion worth of money and loan it out to the major corporations. Basically, our politicians sold us out. They threw us a bone and everybody happy. Oh, we getting a $1,200 check. And if we, a couple, we get $2,400. Just popped in. When are they going to be sending out the money? The money, if you got direct deposit, the money is supposed to start going out on the 6th of April, which will be about 2 weeks. It'll be directly deposited into your account that you filed your taxes with. But if you don't have direct deposit, they're going to mail the checks out to you. And guess what? The mail is running almost 6 weeks behind. So it could be anywhere up to 2 to 3 weeks to maybe 2 months before you even get your stimulus if you mailed your income taxes in. But again, the people, some of the poorest people in America, the homeless, those freelancers, well, they made a provision where freelancers and, you know, people such as myself, we can apply, but we might not get anything. The average person in America is not get anything back. They threw that in there as a way. Good morning, Miss Hernandez. How y'all doing? They threw this in as a way to get us happy about them signing this legislation. But when you look at the legislation, the American people are getting screwed. Let me show you how it's going to go. What's going to happen is with the feds now able to print up a bunch of fake money, because again, they got $400 billion to the Federal Reserve, who are able now to up that by 10 times, which makes it $4 trillion. And what they're going to do, the feds are not going to make loans to you and I or get that cash to you and I. They're going to give it to the major corporations, the banks, those people who are in the pharmaceutical. I don't think the pharmaceutical industry going to get anything. But you know what I'm saying? The major corporations. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to take. You're welcome. You're welcome, Miss Sherry. What they're going to do, the corporations are going to take this money and they're going to basically buy back their stocks. They were trying to put a clause in there where they couldn't buy back their stocks. But what they're going to do, like just say, for instance, you got a major real estate company. I'm talking about a corporate real estate company. They're going to be able now to go in and buy up a lot of houses and mortgages while the price is low. You know what I'm saying? They're going to buy a lot of mortgages from the banks while the prices are low. Once everything clears, they're going to turn around and raise the prices of these houses. So just say your mortgage, you paying your mortgage on your home, and just say your home is worth $300,000. Well, with the slumping in the housing, your house probably depreciated to about $200,000. So this bank, these corporations will now buy your mortgage from the bank for $200,000, and when everything is clear in the next few weeks, they're going to raise the price of that mortgage they raise the price of your house to $400,000. A lot of people are going to lose homes and property under this because it was not about us as the American people, man. It was about the corporations getting bailed out. You see what I'm saying? And we sitting around, here, happy to get $1,200 when, persons like Caldwell Banker, they gonna get a couple of $100 million out of this. The people, the rich oligarchies, the wealthiest people in the world who owns the corporations are really the beneficiaries of this. It's not us. But look again, y'all, everybody that's looking in, man, if hit that likes up so we can get a few more people in. We're gonna get ready to end this video. Also, hit that cash app. Oh, I want to thank Miss Mary. Boy, you came through and blessed us. You blessed us, and we really are appreciative and grateful. Miss Mary is a plot to screw the people living on the poverty line. Exactly what they doing, man. Again, they said every American. Guess what? This virus is affecting everybody. Shouldn't every single person in America, whether they work or not, get that $1,200? Of course they should. What about the homeless people? What about the people who are just now getting out of prison, can't find a job, been looking for a job for maybe a year or two? You know what I'm saying? Maybe because they got a felony or whatever, they can't get a job. Don't you think they're entitled to get something also? No, they don't look at it like that. They're giving the people who are able to put money back into the tax base. That's who's getting the money. It ain't about providing relief for American families or American people, because if that's the case, they'll be like, well, look, we just gonna give everybody, we don't care if you work or not, $2,000 to help you get through this time. Because think about it, a lot of people now can't even go out and find jobs because jobs are shutting down. Think about it, you just had 3 million people, close to 5 million people this week alone throughout the country that filed for unemployment. Hello, hey there, Hey, how you doing, my brother? Good to see you joining us. We're talking about the stimulus package and how the American people got the fast one pulled over their eyes real fast by our corrupt and crooked government. Again, the billions of dollars that they have designated for the corporation far outsees what the $400 billion. Think about it, this is a $10 $10 trillion package, and only 400 billion is going to give rebate checks. What happened to the other 9.6 trillion? Is going to the corporations. Yeah, and these corporations are going to take this money and they're going to reinvest it back into their companies. They're not going to look out for their employees. They had to put a special clause in there to make sure that if the corporations do get some money, that they got to pay these employees for at least up to 90 days. But after 90 days, what if this virus ain't even peaked in 90 days? They're saying that they're looking for it to peak around mid-April, but we haven't even, think about this. There's people walking around right now with this virus, and the only way they're going to know is they start getting sick. See, like in South Korea is performing 10,000 coronavirus tests a day. 10,000 a day. And here we are in so-called the greatest country in the history of mankind. We are barely testing maybe 1,000 people, if that, a day. Because see, what's happening is America do not want to go and ask Korea, hey, we need some of y'all, some help with some of these testing kits y'all got over there. Now, America is basically so proud that they will let 3/4 of the population walk around here not being tested. In every country that has got a hold of this virus, they did it by total lockdown and mass testing on a scale of 10 to 15,000 people a day. Here in America, they're not doing that. It's like they're allowing this virus to spread on purpose to create panic. CDC came and said shut down my sister's company in Houston. Too many employees sick with the coronavirus. I hear it's bad in Houston, but guess what? We ain't seen nothing yet here in Louisiana because, again, during Mardi Gras, the virus was present down there in New Orleans. And you had millions of people together in close quarters. This is why it's spreading so fast in Louisiana, because a lot of people in Louisiana like to go down there and party at Mardi Gras time. And not knowing that this virus was present in New Orleans, and that's why you see the spread like it is here in America. Part of the reason, because people came from all over the country to go to New Orleans and party. Now when these people travel, they traveling back through the states of Louisiana, stopping at convenience stores or whatever, spreading the virus. We have yet to begin to see the full effects of this virus in America. Because right now, just think, hold on, let me get this dog. Y'all give me a second, just 1 second. Hold on, I'll be right back. Come on, girl. What do you want? What do you want? Go. Okay, y'all, apologize for that. Had to get this dog right. But yeah. What we're seeing, I lost my train of thought in that second, but let me go to here. Now let me show you how corrupt our politicians are, and how blatant. They basically ran the scam so cold because they knew they had a briefing back in January about this virus. They were briefed, and they said this virus could shut down the economy, as opposed to letting us know what was going on, letting American people know what was going on. You know what they did? They sold all their stocks. They had inside information that the stock market was probably going to be very volatile. And instead of telling us to prepare ourselves back in January, they went and sold all their stocks, man, and came out on top of the game. Y'all give me a second. I'm going to put this Cash App up here. Y'all, if you all really like what we're doing, man, and really want to support us, just throw a little something on the Cash App. Again, we had one of our subscribers, our long-time subscribers, come through and bless us. And I thank God for our subscribers. You know, you all, first of all, you all look for knowledge and wisdom, you know, and that's what I try to bring to the table. If y'all see that Cash App, go ahead and throw a little something. It don't have to be but $2, $3. You know, everything will be, we'll be appreciative of it. But again, now these politicians, they crafted this bill, you know what I'm saying, with all kinds of favors for the major corporations. And then they tell us, well, we're gonna give you $1,200. Like that shit, what is $1,200? Some people rent alone is $1,200. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta, well, they're not, they're telling you that they're gonna suspend, they put a moratorium on them cutting your utilities and shit off, but guess what? That don't mean you don't have to pay for it. If your electric bill is running at $220 a month and they say for the next 6 months, we're not going to cut your electric off, guess what happens in the 6 months? Now your electric bill is $1,200. That one-time payment of $1,200, it'll help for buying food, you know what I'm saying, buying supplies. But that $1,200 is nothing compared to the hundreds and hundreds of billions and even trillions that the corporations are going to walk away with this for, man. We got screwed. And again, like I say, the politicians are playing games, but you can rest assured a lot of these politicians their heads are going to roll, because the American people, once we really find out it collectively how we got screwed, and the corporations, I'm talking about, come on, man. What does Boeing need $600 million for? And they're not even flying. I mean, $600 billion. They're not even flying right now. Think about it. The corporations have been robbing the people for years, man. If anybody should have been better financially prepared, it should be the corporation. The corporations shouldn't get jack shit, man. They mismanage their money. They tell us you need to be more financially responsible. But look at these corporations. They done raped and robbed the people for all these years, and now they telling them, well, we can't let these businesses fail. Why the fuck not? If we go out as a business, a small business, man, I got my own little small business, and right now I'm on hiatus because the type of work I do, people are not really too ready to let you come into their home and remodel their house. The construction industry is getting hit hard too, y'all. But if I mismanage my business, you know what I'm saying, gave myself all kinds of bonuses while I'm screwing over my employees, when I fuck around and go bankrupt, everybody gonna say you should have managed better, and which I should have. I take responsibility for not managing my hey, Miss Marissa, how you doing? Knowledge is power, Carlos, and that's what I try to do. I'm gonna be real. I'm not right all the time, but anybody that's followed me over the last 5-6 years, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now YouTube, knows that 90% of the time I speak truth. Most times when I speak truth, when I speak something 6 years ago, everybody calls it a conspiracy theory, and here it is staring you right now in your face. Now let me go back. What they're using is the fear of this virus to not only capitalize financially and back up the corporations, but they're actually also using the fear of this virus to take away more and more of your individual rights. Like right now, they're literally telling people, if you, they passed a law just a couple of weeks ago, basically making it whereas if they think you might have the coronavirus, believe it or not, they can come to your house and detain you without having a knowledge of a positive test. They're using this virus to pass laws, but guess what happens? After the virus has been contained and life, quote unquote, so-called goes back to normal, those laws still remain in effect. They're using new tracking laws. You know what I'm saying? Enhanced laws from what they had with the Patriot Act. They're basically implementing a form of martial law and a deeper form, they're deepening the surveillance state. Believe it or not, people, we live in a police state here in America. Everywhere you go, there's a camera on the corner watching you. They're now in real time, they're scanning your every Facebook post, your emails, your text messages. They're scanning everything. Think about it. I have to be very careful now when I do these videos not to mention the coronavirus too much, or I can't put it in the heading of my videos because YouTube gonna take that video down. They don't want any narrative coming out outside of the narrative that they give Fox, ABC, CBS, MSNBC. Those are the only things that they want you to hear. But even if you do that, always ask questions. Never believe what these people who are proven liars your politicians and your media, because your media is controlled by your corporation and your politicians. The people, the donors for your political leaders, just say Joe Biden. Joe Biden is taking money from major corporations. You see what I'm saying? So Joe Biden has to keep the narrative of what these corporations tell him. Your news sources, your mainstream media, the shit that you see on TV or reading in newspapers, they are sponsored by corporations. The pharmaceutical industrial complex, the military industrial complex. I'm gonna show you who else is gonna make out like a fat rat in this coronavirus pandemic. Your hospitals. Believe it or not, when you go in there to that hospital and you sick with that coronavirus, you might be on the verge of death and you might shake back. Once you shake back, guess what's going to happen the month after that? You probably going to get a $50,000 hospital bill. Now just imagine if you got 35 million people who have to go into the hospital and get treated. And each one of those 35 million people now got a hospital bill of probably $50,000. So everybody stands to benefit, all the corporations stands to benefit from this virus. We as average American people, all we gonna get is a check. Just saying, here, take this check and just go on your way. Don't pay attention to the robbery that's really going on. What you're witnessing is a redistribution of the wealth from the bottom up. Think about it. We giving the Federal Reserve again $400 billion, and they can basically print up to $400 trillion. They're going to give it to the motherfucking corporations, and the corporations are going to do whatever they want. Now, guess where all this money coming from? Nobody really paid attention. Well, you say, well, that's a $10 trillion stimulus package. They try. No, guess what? That shit's coming from the taxpayers. The taxpayers are basically paying to bail these corporations out again, man. This shit is crazy, y'all. Nobody's really talking about that because everybody really, the main question is, which is a legitimate question, when is my check coming? When is my check coming? Guess what? Tomorrow, soon as they sign that bill in, the Fed started printing up that $400 trillion. That $4 trillion. They started printing that shit up the next day. The corporations will start getting their money next week. They've been getting rich off disasters and crisis situations. Exactly. But this time here is a little bit different because they are perpetuating this crisis. Again, there's no way in the world you can tell me that they knew about this shit way back in January, and we didn't know about it until we started hearing about the shit over in China, which we started hearing about what was happening in China in March. Now think about it. By the time we heard what was going on in China, back in February, when they told us what was going on in China, look at all the people who had traveled back and forth from the United States to China. The virus was here. They knew it, but they did not tell us on purpose about the virus. You see what I'm saying? They kept us deliberately ignorant to this virus. You see what I'm saying? Now that the virus is here, they're using it as a boogeyman to scare you, first and foremost, and to allow them to rape the American people, the American public, of this money, so that they can basically bail out the corporation. Problem, reaction, and solution. Exactly. A lot of times they create the problem, and then they look at the reaction, and they already have a solution. Good morning, Brother Lawrence. How you doing? Yeah, problem, action, reaction, and solution. They create the problem, which they already have a predetermined solution for. They needed this crisis because the stock market was falling. This battery is finna get ready to shut down, y'all. I'm gonna have to end this video. I promise y'all, in a couple of hours, I'm gonna come back. I gotta walk over here and get my son and bring him back to the house. But yeah, it's crazy. The American people has just gotten the best screw job in the history of this country, because we're waiting for a $1,200 check and the corporations are getting $50-60 billion checks. They're not gonna have to wait for their money. Check it out. Come Monday, Boeing, the cruise lines, all these corporations will have their checks You see what I'm saying? While half the employees are still at home. We gotta wait up to in some cases six weeks to maybe 2 months before we get a $1,200 check, and Boeing is gonna get 50 billion. I mean, I think Boeing getting close to 100 billion. American Airlines, all the airlines are gonna get paid next week. Banks are gonna get paid next week. You see what I'm saying? The cruise industry is gonna get paid next week. The Federal Reserve next week is going to start lending hundreds of millions of dollars out to the corporations next week. You see what I'm saying? You think you can go to the Federal Reserve and get cha? Hold up, man. Let me one more time. My dog is something else. Come here, girl. Go in there and sit. Go get your puppy. I apologize for that, y'all. I got this little big head dog, man. But yeah, the corporations, they getting their money. I'm talking about next week, but you gotta wait. Bills, your bills steadily piling up. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta wait for them to send you a bone. Like they say, throw a dog a bone, he'll leave you alone. That's what they did. They weighed that $1,200 and say they're hoping we would say, yay, we getting $1,200. And the executives at the airlines say, yeah, fuck yeah. Another 500 billion. You see what I'm saying? Think about that. And I know that we need these corporations to actually keep America going. But at what point do we start holding these corporations shit? If we got to be accountable for our finances, don't you think them motherfuckers? Y'all excuse my language, but don't you think they should be held accountable for their mismanagement, for their corporate theft? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I understand that airline flight is expensive, but that shit is not as expensive as they make it. It shouldn't be no $500 to fly from one end of the country to the other end of the country one way. You know what I'm saying? $1,000 round trip. That shit don't cost that much. You know what I'm saying? But they overinflate their prices, and then once they make all this money, oh, you're welcome, Miss Sharon. You're welcome. Thank you. And once they make all this money, man, they squander it by giving these executives, their CEOs, $10 million a year fucking bonuses on top of their salaries. It's so crooked and so cold. One thing they did do in that bill, notice this, they made sure that Donald Trump and his hotel couldn't get none of that money. The hotel industries next week gonna get their money. You gotta wait almost for another 3 weeks before you get your $1,200. That's crazy, man. And then also, something else I want to talk about again. This goes how crooked your government is. Now, y'all know we talk a lot about international issues. Do you all realize what's been going on in Venezuela? Venezuela has probably the largest oil fields, oil reserves on the planet. So for 10, 15 years now, the United States has been trying to overthrow the Venezuelan government. You know what I'm saying? Through sanctions, economic sanctions. It started under Hugo Chavez, and now it's under Nicolas Maduro, who's the president of Venezuela right now. Now, Venezuela is now starting to deal with the coronavirus, the epidemic. So they worrying about trying to deal with this virus. And do you know what the United States government just did? They put a $15 million bounty on the head of the president, Nicolas Maduro, in Venezuela, saying that he sells drugs. This is nothing but a game. Think about this, man. Think about this. Nicolas Maduro knows that if he does anything wrong, it will give the United States not only the excuse to tighten sanctions on him, but maybe even enact military actions on him. Do you think this man who's really barely trying to hang on to power would do some dumb shit like smuggle drugs, allow drugs to be smuggled through from Colombia through his country when he's fighting Colombia and Peru? Because these Colombia and Peru are controlled pretty much by the United States. They just got puppet rulers. So all the drugs pretty much in South America is coming from Colombia and Peru. Do you think the president of Venezuela, who knows his ass is this far from being executed or literally murdered by the United States government, do you think that man will be out there selling drugs? Knowing that the whole world, he's probably most looked at man under the microscope in the world? Bullshit, man. What they're finna do is they finna pull another Saddam Hussein. They finna lie to you, telling you this man is a well-known narcotics trafficker. You know what I'm saying? And they put a $10 million reward out on him, hoping that somebody in his country is desperate enough to either kill him, or they hoping that the military, somebody in the military, will fucking turn him in. And what's gonna happen when they turn him in? Guess what? Shell, Exxon, all your American oil companies are going to go over there and take them folks oil. That's literally what's going on over there. But I know Nicolas Maduro is going to fight before he allows that to happen. But again, they just, basically the United States is so much of a fucking bully, they could just say, well, we can't destroy his country, destroy him and his country through sanctions. We can't get him through threats. I know the easiest way we can get him. We can just say he's a dope dealer, and then we can bring him up on charges. Once we get him here in America, you know what I'm saying, we could put a puppet ruler in his country and take their oil from him. You're looking at the exact same thing that they did to Saddam Hussein. A lot of people got to realize the main reason why they murdered Saddam Hussein, it wasn't because he was just a bad guy. He probably was a bad guy. It was because Saddam Hussein woke up and realized, why the hell would I let America come in here and take all our oil? And for every dollar, they only give my country 20 cents of our own oil. Saddam Hussein had went and petitioned the United Nations to take his oil off the petrodollar and sell it to the Europeans for the euro. Soon as that happened, the United States sent a message to the rest of the Middle East. This is what will happen to you if you do that. Look what they did to Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi was about to transform the whole continent of Africa into one big nation. Just like the United States of America, Muammar Gaddafi, through the Golden Dawn, was about to change and transform Africa to the United States of Africa, because all the countries in Africa was looking at his example. And when he said, well, we're no longer going to sell our oil for the petrodollar, we're going to use our own currency. And if anybody wants to buy our oil, they have to take their money, transfer it to our Golden Dawn, and then they can buy our oil. The United States said, that's not going to happen. They showed you Saddam Hussein getting drugged from the jail after he went over to Germany and got found guilty, you know what I'm saying, or whatever charges they got. They brought him back to Iraq, and they allowed a lynch mob to come in there and snatch that man out of his prison cell, drag him, and hang him. They showed you this shit on national TV. They showed you the murder of another foreign leader on TV. They showed you Muammar Gaddafi. They showed you Muammar Gaddafi getting beat, drugged behind trucks. They showed you Muammar Gaddafi getting beat to death. We were just looking at it on the internet yesterday. I was showing my nephews. They didn't think that, you know, what I was saying was true. And you can pull it up on YouTube right now. Just go in and type images of Muammar Gaddafi being beaten. And they're going to show you the president of Libya literally getting beat by a lynch mob. I'm trying to see who this is. Y'all give me a second. Somebody just pulled up. Hey, I'm going to end this video. Hey, if y'all like this video, share it, man. Most importantly, if y'all like what we do, hey, hit that cash out, man. We could use a little bit more help. Again, I'd like to thank you, Miss Mary, for what you've done. Hey, y'all give me a couple of moments, about an hour or two. I'm going to be right back. Hey, like, share, subscribe, hit that cash out. Y'all be blessed.